Hi friends, welcome to Kodai Linux. I'm your facilitator Murali. So we are learning in today's session shell scripting part 2, and as a part of this session we are going to learn the following. We are going to learn about exit status of a command. When a command terminates, what is the status value it returns? We are going to learn about that. What is the value it is returned, uh, and to where it returns, and what numerical value it returns, and on successful execution what value it returns, on unsuccessful execution what value it returns. All these things we are going to learn. Significance of test command. So there is a command called test command. We are going to learn about this test command. Then we are going to learn about the operators that are used in this shell script: arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, file test operators, string null check operator, and conditional execution operators. So these are the operators we are going to learn. First, to talk about the exit status of the command. What is exit status of a command? So when a command executes and when it just terminates, a command would terminate at some point of time. When it terminates, it would either terminate normally or it would terminate abnormally due to some runtime error. So there are only two options: either it would terminate normally or it would terminate abnormally. So when a command terminates, it returns a value to its calling process. So when a command terminates, it returns a value indicative of its status of termination. At the time of termination, how it has how it has terminated, like whether it has aborted in between, whether it has terminated abnormally or normally after completely executing, whether it has terminated. So that value is an indicative value. So it returns an indicative value. To where it returns to its calling process. For any process there would be a calling process, right? So it returns to its calling process. And if this process is executed from the shell prompt, from the shell, if shell happens to be the parent of this process, this particular process which is just terminating, if shell happens to be the parent, then it returns the exit status to its parent, that is a shell. Okay, so whatever value the command returns as indicative of the exit status, this value the shell stores in a special variable known as $? Variable. So there is a special variable for shell $? Which stores the exit status of the command that is just executed. So at any point of time, by examining the $? Variable's value, we can know whether the previous command, the just executed command, whether it has executed successfully or unsuccessfully. The command executes successfully, it returns a value of 0. So if any command, when it executes successfully, it returns a value 0. And this command, if it returns the value 0 to shell, in the sense that shell being the parent, okay, from the shell this command is executed, and hence if the command returns the value 0 to shell, where the shell is going to store that value 0 in the $? Variable. If the command executes unsuccessfully, it returns the value non-zero. Okay, non-zero value in the range between 1 and 255. Okay, fine. And that is also stored in the $? Variable. So to put it in a nutshell, the exit status of a command is stored in the value $? By the shell. Any command when executes and when it just terminates, it may terminate normally or it may terminate abnormally. If the command terminates abnormally, it returns a non-zero value in the range between 1 and 255. And if it terminates normally, it would return a value 0. So whatever value it returns, and if it returns the shell being the parent of that command, if you are executing the command from the shell, in that case, shell would be the parent of that command. Then the command would return the value to the shell. The shell is going to take the control back from that command. At that time, it would receive the exit status of the command. Okay, and where the shell is going to store it, it is going to store it in a special variable known as $? So this is all about the exit status of the command. Okay, then we are going to learn about a command known as test command. So what is this test command? The purpose of test command is to evaluate a relational and logical expressions. Okay, the purpose of test command is to evaluate relational and logical expressions. So test command not only evaluates relational and logical expressions, it also evaluates string test expression. Like you want to test if a string is null or not null. For that also you need the help of the test command. Not only that, even if you want to there are file test expressions also. The file test expressions check the state of the file. Like is the file, does the file exist? Is the file a regular file, or is the file a directory file? Is the file readable? Is the file writable? Is the file executable? Like that, when you want to check the state of the file, then also we for that purpose we have set of file test operators. So with the help of file test operators, we can form file test expressions. Those file test expressions are also evaluated with the test command only. If the expression is evaluated to true, then the test command returns a value 0. And if the expression is evaluated to false, then the test command returns a value 1. So as far as test command is concerned, it returns only one of the two values, either a 0 or a 1. So 0 on successful execution, meaning if the expression is evaluated to true, and 1, it will return the value 1 upon failure, that is if the expression is evaluated to false. The return value of test command is stored in the $? Variable, which stores exit status of a command. Okay, so this $? Variable only stores the return value of the test command. Okay, there is a shortcut for test command, and that is open closing square bracket. So there are two ways of specifying the syntax when you are evaluating any expression with the test command. One way by specifying the test keyword. Other way is by enclosing that expression within a pair of square bracket. So even when you are enclosing the expression within a pair of square bracket, it means that you are testing the expression with the test command, because this is the shortcut of the test command. So the syntax is like this. Either you can specify like test $a space -gt space $b. So here we assume that $a and $b are variables that store numeric values. So -gt is the numerical comparison operator, which we are going to learn subsequently. So here we are using the test command, or you can even specify that expression within a pair of square bracket. As I told you, that is a shortcut for the test command. Okay. Next, let us learn about the operators. Okay, I was telling you that for forming the expressions, we need the operators. So let us see what are all the operators. Okay, we are going to learn about the arithmetic operators. We are going to learn about the relational operators, then logical operators, file test operators, string null check operator, and conditional execution operators. Arithmetic operators, as the name suggests, to perform arithmetic operation. Relational operators, we will be forming the relational expressions. Like when we want to check whether given two operands, when we want to check whether the first operand is greater than second operand or less than second operand. So such operations we can perform using the relational operators. Logical operators like not, and, or. When you want to combine two relational expressions, then you can do so with the help of logical operators. Or when you want to negate a relational expression, like if not A greater than B, such kind of expressions we can form with the help of logical operators. Then we have file test operators. As I told you in the previous slide, we can test the files, we can check the state of the file, okay, whether it is readable, writable, executable, whether it is a non-empty file, whether it exists, whether it is a regular file or directory file or a linked file or a socket file or a named pipe file. So we can check what the file is, the type of the file, okay, with the help of file test operators. Okay, then we have string null check operator. We can check whether the given string is a not null string, okay, with the help of string null check operator. Then we have conditional execution operators. We have operators with which we can do something like, if the left hand side command executes successfully, then only the right hand side command should execute. If the left hand side command doesn't execute successfully, or if the left hand side command fails, then the right hand side command should not execute. Or the other way around, if the left hand side command fails, then only the right hand side command should execute. So for these, for taking care of these, we have operators known as conditional execution operators. So we are going to learn about all these things. So whatever we have seen in the previous slides and this slide, theoretically we are going to work on the dollar prompt. First, let us learn about the exit status of the command. So I told you that when a command executes, whether it executes successfully or unsuccessfully, when it is just about to terminate, if it is terminating after successful execution, it is going to return, it is having a particular exit status. The status of its execution is a particular exit status, right? It has executed successfully, or it has aborted due to some reason, some runtime error, and due to that aborting it has terminated, okay, but it has terminated unsuccessfully. That is also an exit status. So based on the status of its execution, the command returns a value. Okay, normally the value that returned by command is indicative of its exit status. Like if the exit status is successful, then it returns a value 0, and if the exit status is failure, then the command returns a non-zero value in the range between 1 and 255, the number 1 and 255. Okay, so now let us just work on some commands and see the exit status. Okay, for example, ls-l echo $? So I want to check the exit status of the ls command. So whether ls command has executed successfully or not. First of all, ls command is going to give its output. Then after ls command is executed, you are checking what is the value of $? So it would store the return value of the ls command, right? So whether exit status of the ls command. So ls command is executed successfully, and hence we are able to see the value 0. So the 0 we are seeing here, that's not part of the ls command's output. You very well know that. That is the output of the echo command, echo $? So $? value you are displaying here, that is 0. So ls has executed successfully, right? Okay, next, cat. I'll try to display the content of some file, cat animals. Okay, so then I am displaying the exit status of this command. So whether cat is executed successfully or not, depending on that, the $? Variable's value would be depending on the cat's execution. So cat has executed successfully. It is able to open the file, and then it is able to read the contents of the file. It is able to display the contents of the file on the monitor. That is standard output. Yes, cat has executed successfully. So it has returned a value 0. Now let us suppose I am giving something like this, animals 1. Is animals 1 in the current directory? No. So I am giving a non-existing file. Then will the cat be able to find this file? No, it won't be able to find the file. So if it is unable to find the file, it means cat is unable to find the file. So it won't be able to open it, read the contents, display on the monitor. So ultimately it is going to come out with an error, right? So in this case, I believe we should take it that cat would execute unsuccessfully. Now let us just check what would be the value of dollar question mark. Yes, cat is not able to execute successfully. Cat has failed. So cat has come out with an error message telling that no such file or directory, and it has returned a value 1. I told you that when a command fails, it returns an unsuccessful exit status, which is in the range between 1 and 255. So it returns a value 1. Okay, it can return any number, but in this scenario wherein the cat has failed because the file that I am trying to open the read mode, that file doesn't exist. In that case, it is returning the value 1. Let us suppose there is another scenario like animals is there. So the file animals is there, but let us suppose that it won't have the read permission. So what I will do, I will remove the read permission from the file animals, right? Okay, u minus r. So read permission is not there. So I am giving cat animals echo dollar question mark. So then even if the permission denied, even cat is unable to display the contents of the file, read the file and contents of the file, because the read permission is denied, then also it returns the value 1. So in this scenario wherein either cat has failed because the file doesn't exist, or the cat has failed because read permission is not there, in both the case it returns the value 1. So it can be any value between 1 and 2, but in this scenario it returns 1. Okay, so always in any scenario wherein cat is unable to open the file, either because the file doesn't exist or the file doesn't have the read permission, in that case it returns the value 1. Okay, so that is stored in dollar question mark variable. So this is with regard to the exit status of the command. So whatever is true with the cat, that is true with any other command also. Let us suppose I try to grep something. Okay, so okay, let us work with the grep command. Cat animals. Okay, first of all I will give the read permission to the animal. Read permission to the file animals, u plus r, chmod u plus r animals, ls hyphen l animals. Now we have read permission. Okay, so cat animals. Okay, I am trying to grep for sc in animals. Yes, I am getting it. Or I am trying to now grep for something like clerk. Okay, I am trying to grep for monkey in animals. Echo dollar question mark 1, because grep is unsuccessful. Or okay, one more thing, that is successful exit status. That also let me just show you. 0, right? So a grep has executed successfully. Let us suppose that I am trying to grep for something in a non-existing file. Okay, employee.data or something that is existing, but if just employee is not existing, I believe, right? Echo dollar. Let us see that. Okay, echo dollar question mark. Yes. So if grep has failed because the pattern is not found in the file, then it returns a value 1, unsuccessful value 1. But if grep has failed because the file doesn't exist, then it returns the value 2. I told you anything in the range, any value in the range between 1 and 255, right? So 2 it returns. Okay, fine. So this is about the exit status of a command. So a command, when it terminates, it may terminate abnormally or normally. If it terminates abnormally, it returns any value between 1 and 255. If it terminates normally, it returns a value 0. So whatever value it returns, in case if this command is invoked from the shell, either from the shell script or from the shell prompt, in that case the shell would be the parent of that command. So it returns that value to the shell, and shell promptly stores that value in the variable that is dedicated to store the exit status of the command, and that variable is $variable. So by examining the value of the $variable, we can infer whether that command has executed successfully or unsuccessfully. Okay, and so as it is returning an exit status, we can even issue this command along with the if command, if keyword, okay, for to form the if conditional construct. Okay, we'll be seeing it subsequently in a subsequent session. Okay, so let us move on to the test command. Let us see how the test command works. What is the purpose of the test command? As I told you earlier, test command is used to evaluate an expression. Test command is used to evaluate an expression. Okay, so for example, you have a relational expression. Okay, so we have operators called relational operators. Using relational operators, you can form relational expression. For example, I am giving something like a equal to 10, b equal to 25. I want to check whether a is greater than b or a is less than b, like that, right? Okay, so I can give something like, I can issue it like test $a is greater than $b, echo $question mark. As I told you, the test command is going to evaluate this expression, and based on the evaluation of the expression, based on the result of the evaluation, it is going to store either a value 0 or 1. If this expression is evaluated to true, it is going to store as value 0 in $question mark, or if it is evaluated to false, it is going to store a value 1 in the $question mark variable. So now it has stored a value 1. Why? Because $a is not greater than $b. So this relational expression is evaluated to false. A greater than b has evaluated to false, and hence it has stored a value 1 in the $question mark variable. Or I am giving test $a less than $b, echo $question mark 0, because a happens to be, a's value happens to be lesser than b's value. So this expression is evaluated to true, and hence the value 0 is stored in the $question mark variable. So test command, let me repeat again. Okay, test command evaluates an expression provided to it as an argument. It can be either a relational expression or a logical expression, or a string test expression, or a file test expression. It can be any of these expressions. So if the expression is executed to true, if the expression is evaluated to true, then test command stores a value 0 in the $question mark variable. True is synonymous to successful. Okay, and if the expression is evaluated to false, which is synonymous to unsuccessful, it stores a value 1 in the $question mark variable. Okay, there is a shortcut for test command, that is a pair of square bracket. Let us see how do we do that. I am giving the open square bracket, giving a space, $a less than $b, then close the square bracket. So this is synonymous to executing the expression, specifying the expression with the test command. This is synonymous to that. Okay, either I prefix the expression with the test command, or I specify the expression within a pair of square bracket, it means one and the same. Logically, it means one and the same. In both the cases, this expression is going to be evaluated with the test command. Whether I specify the test keyword explicitly or not, it is going to be executed by the test command. Okay, let us see. Echo $? So it is returning 0. So test has evaluated this expression to true, and hence it has returned the value. It has stored a value 0 in the $? Variable. Now test has evaluated this expression to false, and hence it has returned the value. It has stored the value 1 in $? Variable. Okay. So throughout this shell scripting, we are going to work with the test command, right? Wherever we are basically evaluating expression with the if condition, or with the while, in the while loop, or the if selection control construct, okay, we would be using this test command. Whenever we want to evaluate any expression, we would be using this test command. As I told you, the expression means what? What are all the expressions? Like you have the relational expressions, you have the logical expressions, you have the file test expressions, you have the string test expressions, wherein you check whether the string is null or not. So with all these expressions, you can evaluate these expressions with the test command. Okay. Next, let us learn about the operators. Okay, because the expressions are formed with the operators. So as a part of the operators, first we are going to learn about the arithmetic operators. Okay, so as part of the operators, we are going to learn about the arithmetic operators. Okay. Okay, let us understand about the arithmetic operators. So when we are talking about the arithmetic operators, how all we can do arithmetic? The question comes, how all we can do arithmetic in shell? What are the various ways of doing arithmetic? What are the various commands with which we can do the arithmetic? It is not like as straightforward as your arithmetic expression in C, C++, like wherein you give A equal to B plus C. So you need the help of some commands here in shell to perform arithmetic. So there are various commands, like there is a command called expr command. Using expr command, you can perform arithmetic. So you have the expr command, and you have the bc command, you have the let command, right? So these are the three commands with which we can perform the arithmetic. Okay. First, let us look at the expr command. As far as expr command is concerned, what are the operators that are supported? Expr command supports the operators for addition, that is plus for addition, minus for subtraction, asterisk for multiplication, slash for division, percentage for modulus. So expr command supports these operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. Okay. Okay. Then we come to the bc command. Bc command, what all operators it supports? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, then exponentiation, that is to the power of, and then incrementing operator, both pre-incrementing and post-incrementing operator, decrementing operator, both pre-incrementing and post-incrementing, shortened assignment operator like plus equal to, minus equal to, and so on. Okay, plus equal to, minus equal to, asterisk equal to, slash equal to, all these shortened operators, shortened assignment operators it supports. Okay, so these are all the operators it supports. Which command? That is the let command. That is the bc command. Okay, bc command supports all these operators. Then you have the let command, right? So let command also supports plus, okay, for addition, minus for subtraction, asterisk for multiplication, slash for division, percentage for modulus, Okay, and then for exponentiation, it supports double asterisk operator is there, then plus plus is there for incrementing, and minus minus operator for decrementing, both pre and post decrementing, plus equal to minus equal to such operators, all the shorthand assignment operators, asterisk equal to, slash equal to. Okay, these are all for this, these are all shorthand assignment operators. All these operators the let command supports. So I'll just show you quickly a couple of examples in each of these things, but in to uh, go through a detailing of these commands, um, as I told you already, I will be giving the URL of the one of the previous sessions wherein I have told in detail about, I have explained and even given the demo in detail about these three commands. You can go through that URL. Okay, EXPR, like I can give something like 78 percentage 5. Okay, and then BC. So BC is an interactive command. BC, here I give, let me give something like I equal to 10, I plus plus. Okay, now I, if I try to display, I becomes 11. So it supports these operators. Okay, then let, so quit will quit it. And if you want to non-interactively work with BC, like if you want to BC to non-interactively receive an expression and then solve it, and non-interactively store the result, that also you can do with the help of command substitution. So how you can do that? Like result equal to, okay, result equal to, then backtick echo echo 5 plus 10, pipe it to echo double quote 5 plus 10, pipe it to BC. So here what I am doing, I am sending the expression 5 plus 10 to BC through pipe. I am piping it to BC. So BC will receive it through the pipe. It's this expression as its input line. And what BC will do? BC will perform whatever it is supposed to do. 5 plus 10 means it will perform the, this for BC, it understands that it is an arithmetic expression. So it will perform whatever it is supposed to do. So 5 plus 10, it will compute the value and then assign the result to the left hand side, because it is a command substitution. So it will assign the value result to the left hand side result variable. So in one of my previous videos I have told about the command substitution. You can refer that video to learn the command substitution. I have explained in detail about command substitution with demo. Okay, you can refer to that. Next, let us understand a couple of operators with the let command, like let a equal to, or let num equal to 25, let num plus plus, let um, num1 equal to plus plus num. So after this statement, now what would be the value of num1? So plus plus is a pre-incrementing operator here. So it would, after assigning the incremented value of num to num1, okay, first the incremented value of num2, so num would be incremented and its value would be assigned to num1, then only the statement would be, execution would be complete. So if you check the value of num1, it should be 26, obviously. Yes, 26. Of course, even the value of num also would be 26. Okay. So as I told you already, to understand more about let, BC and EXPR, please refer to my previous video, the URL of which I have given in this in the description section of this video. Okay, so let us move on to the next concept. Like so we have learned about the arithmetic operators, then we have the relational operators. I told you that relational operators are used to compare the two operands. So there are two relational operators. So you have the arithmetic that is, you have the numerical operands, you have the string operands. So if the, to compare two numerical operands, you have a particular set of relational operators. To compare two string operands, you have a particular set of relational operators. Okay, first let us look at the numerical comparison relational operators. So we are going to look at the numerical comparison relational operators. So numerical comparison relational operators are like, for checking if the left hand side numerical operand is greater than right hand side numerical operand, you have a relational operator called hyphen GT. Hyphen GT means that is greater than. GT stands for greater than. So hyphen GT means to check greater than. Hyphen LT less than. Hyphen EQ equal to. Hyphen NE. Hyphen NE not equal to. Hyphen NE not equal to. Hyphen GT hyphen LT hyphen EQ hyphen NE hyphen GE greater than or equal to. Hyphen LE less than or equal to. These are the various numerical comparison relational operators. Similarly, you have a set of string comparison relational operators. String comparison relational operators. So, to compare two strings, we use the string comparison operators. Okay, let us see how do we use the string comparison operators to compare two strings. Okay, so I am giving something like name1 equal to Hari. Name1 equal to Hari. Name2 equal to Mary. So we want to compare name1 and name2. So how do we do that? Test $name1 equal to $name2. So this is going to compare the two strings, whether name1's value equal to name2's value. If that is true, then it will store 0 in $variable. Otherwise it will store 1. It stores 1. It means that it is false. This name1 equal to name2 is false. Okay, test $name1 not equal to $name2. Echo $question mark. Yes, name1 not equal to name2 is true. Hence it returns 0. So this is string comparison operator. Okay, so string comparison relational operator. So next is logical operator. What is logical operator? Logical operator is not, and, or. There are three logical operators: not, and or. For example, test. Same thing will take, no? $name1 equal to $name2. But I am negating it. Not of $name1 equal to $name2. So what is the meaning of this? Like $name1 equal to $name2. By that, what we are doing, we are comparing whether name1's value equal to name2's value. But I am negating it. So negating means what? Name1's value. So in effect, what it becomes like, whether name1 is not equal to name2. Okay, name1 equal to name2 is not of name1 equal to name2. What is the meaning of that? Name1 not equal to name2. I'm checking. So name1 not equal to name2 is true. So it should return true ideally here, right? So it should return 0. Yes, it returns 0. So that is a not operator. So I can negate by the not operator. Then we have an AND operator. Okay, so let us look at the AND operator. For example, I am having a variable called age. Here I am having a variable called age. Okay, let us suppose that I want to test a condition like this. So instead of test, I can specify within a pair of square bracket, right? So okay, $age is greater than 20, and so the AND logical operator is -a. Not operator is exclamation symbol. AND operator is -a. $age less than 40. So what does it mean? So when I am concatenating two relational expressions with the AND operator, that is -a operator,
then if only both the relational expressions are evaluated to true, the entire expression would be evaluated to true. And when you are concatenating with the AND operator, both should be true. Then only it would be true. If either of them is evaluated to false, then the entire expression would be evaluated to false, right? So that is the significance of the AND operator. Okay, so $age greater than 20 also should be true, and $age less than 40 also should be true. So for example, here our input is 35, age is 35. So greater than 20 is true, yes. Less than 40 is true, yes. So this should be evaluated to true, right? Okay, echo $question mark. Now let us see what is the value of $question mark. 0. It means it is evaluated to true. Okay, we have an operator called OR operator, right? Logical OR operator. Let us look at an example for that. For example, marks equal to 65. Okay, I want to do some validation, like if marks is less than 0 and marks is greater than 100, I should tell that it's an invalid marks. Okay, that is my requirement. Okay, then what I can do, so I want to check whether marks is less than 0, or here I will use the OR operator. I'll tell you why. Okay, $marks is greater than 100. That is an invalid marks, right? That is very logical. If marks is less than, there cannot be any negative marks, -1, -2, -3. That is not a valid marks. And 101, 102, 103, that is not a valid marks. It should be between 0 and 100, right? So if the marks is either less than 0 or greater than 100, so this is an OR operator, right? If one of them is true also, the entire expression would be evaluated to true. That is, if one of the relational expressions is evaluated to true, then also the entire expression would be evaluated to true. So that is what we want, right? Okay, so either less than 0 is true or greater than 100 is true, then also the entire expression would be evaluated to true. $question mark. Now this would be evaluated to false, because less than 0 is also false, greater than 100 is also false, so the entire expression would be evaluated to false, right? Yes, the entire expression is evaluated to false. Next, let us suppose I am giving marks equal to something like -5. Okay, so now what happens? $marks less than 0 is true because it is -5, or $marks greater than 100, that is false. But true or false? So true or false would be evaluated to true. If either of the expressions is true, then the entire expression is evaluated to true. Correct? That is the significance of the OR, logical OR operator. Okay, so now this entire expression would be evaluated to true. So we are getting the result as 0, right? So this is the logical operator. Okay, this is the significance of the logical operator. Okay, fine. Then so we have learnt about the logical operators, not and or. Okay, next, file test operators. So let us understand about the file test operators. File test operators. Okay, so as I told you, file test operators are used for testing the state of the file or the type of the file. Like okay, I can check using the file test operator. I can check whether a particular file exists, whether the or the type of the file, like whether the file is a regular file or an ordinary file, the file is a directory file, whether the file is a soft linked file. Okay, I can check the type of the file, or whether the file is a device file. I can check it. Given any file, what is the type of the file? Or I can check even the accessibility of the file, whether the file is readable or writable or executable, or I can check even if the file is a empty file or not, whether a file is a non-empty file. So these are all the things I can do with the file test operators. Let me here enlist the file test operators -e or hyphen A to test whether the file exists, hyphen F to check whether a file is a regular file or ordinary file, hyphen D directory file, hyphen S whether the file is a socket file, hyphen C whether the file is a character special file, hyphen B whether it is a block special file, whether hyphen R operator for checking whether the file is readable. So this is with regard to the accessibility of the file. Hyphen R to check whether the file is writable. Hyphen X to check whether the file is executable. So these are the various file test operators. So let us work with some of the file test operators. Okay, given a particular file, I want to check whether it exists. So what I can do, test hyphen E, then animals. So I want to check whether there is a file called animals. So test, then followed by hyphen E option, hyphen E for checking whether it exists, then animals, echo dollar question mark. Yes, it returns 0. It means that the file exists. So the test to check that if the file exists has evaluated to true. Hence, it has stored a value 0 in the dollar question mark variable. So instead of the test command explicitly specifying the test command, as we know, we can always substitute that with a pair of square bracket. So I can specify also within the pair of square bracket. Yes, it is 0. Let me check whether there is a file called fibo.c. It doesn't exist. So the test to check if the file fibo.c exists in the current directory, it has evaluated to false, and hence it has stored a value 1. The test command has stored a value 1 in the dollar question mark variable. Because this condition is evaluated to false. This is the condition to check. This is the file test operator to check if the file exists. Okay, let us suppose I want to check if the file is a regular file. Okay, so let us suppose I want to check if the file this desktop, that's a regular file. Okay, or first we'll check some actual regular file itself, like employee.data. So given a file called employee.data, I want to check whether it is a regular file. Test hyphen R for checking whether it is a hyphen F for checking whether it is a regular file. Employee.data. Okay, so I'm checking whether it is a regular file. So echo dollar question mark. Yes, it's a regular file. So I want to check whether employee.data is a directory file. Is it a directory file? No, it's not a directory file. So it is evaluated to false, and hence it has stored a value 1 in the dollar question mark variable. Okay. Next, let us check whether the file desktop. Okay, there is a file called desktop. Whether the file desktop is a regular directory file. Okay. Yes, it's a directory file, and hence it is returning 0. It has evaluated to true. Let me check whether the file desktop is a character special device file. It's not a character special device file. Okay, so or block special device file. Anything else I check other than the directory file test operator, that is hyphen D file test operator, it will evaluate to false, and hence it will store a value 1 in the dollar question mark variable. Okay, so given a file, I want to check whether it has got read permission. Okay, let us suppose I want to check whether the employee.data has got a read permission. Yes, it has got read permission, so it has evaluated to true. Whether it has got write permission? Yes. Okay, let me remove write permission from employee.data. chmod u minus w employee.data. I have removed the write permission from the file employee.data. Okay, write permission is not there. So let me now check whether the file employee.data has got write permission. So the test to check if the file employee.data has got the right permission has evaluated to false, and hence because now it has not got the right permission, it doesn't have the right permission, the file employee.data, and hence it has stored a value 1 in the $? Variable. So I believe you would have understood about the file test operators. So when we learn about the if control construct, while loop, everything, then we will be um, checking these file test operators. We will be checking the file test operator with the if condition. Okay, we will be integrating with the if condition. Okay, so now we have understood how the file test operators works. Okay, then there are two special operators provided by shell, okay, known as conditional execution operators. Apart from the above operators, there are two operators which are known as conditional execution operators. So let us understand what are these conditional execution operators. Okay, conditional execution operators. Let us understand what are these conditional execution operators. The two conditional operators are double ampersand and double pipe symbol. Let us see how these conditional execution operator works. What is the significance of these conditional execution operators? For example, I have a requirement like I want to grep for a pattern in a file, and if the file has got at least one matching pattern, I want to take an action. So if not for conditional execution operator, you need to grep for a pattern, you need to do it with the help of the if condition. Okay, now using conditional execution operator, how easily we can do that, I will show you. Let us suppose that if there is a pattern called SC in the file employee.data, then what I want to do, I want to just echo some statement like yes, this organization has software engineers. Okay, so I want to give a statement like this. Okay, so if okay, I'm grepping for a pattern SC in the file employee.data, and if grep is able to find a line, at least one matching line in the file employee.data which contains the pattern SC, then in that case, so if it means what, if it is able to find matching pattern, if the grep is able to find matching pattern, what does it mean? Grep is successful. So if grep is successful, then I want the echo statement to be executed. So what this double ampersand operator do means, double ampersand word execute decide about executing the right hand side command if the left hand side command is successful. So which is left hand side command? Grep. Which is the right hand side command? Echo. So to the double ampersand, grep is to the left and echo is to the right. So left, if the left hand side command is successful, then it the double ampersand, when you are when you are concatenating two commands with the conditional execution operator double ampersand, okay, then shell would execute the right hand side command if the left hand side command is successful, if the concatenation operator is double ampersand. Okay, so this is known as conditional execution operator and this is called as conditional execution operator and. Okay, now let us see. Yes, it has got matching patterns. Okay, and hence finally it is telling yes, this organization has software engineers. Okay, but I want to suppress the output of grep. Then what I need to do, I can just give greater than, that is I redirect the output to dev null. This is one way of suppressing the output of grep, right? Yes, this organization is software engineers. Now let us suppose that I want to even check the scenario wherein if grep is unable to find the matching pattern in the file, meaning grep is unsuccessful or grep has failed to find the matching pattern, then that I can handle with the help of double pipe symbol. Double pipe symbol, what shell does means, whatever command, whichever command follows the double pipe symbol, it will decide to execute that command if the left hand side command, that is the grep, failed. Okay, so if the grep has failed, then the shell will take a decision to execute the command which follows the double pipe symbol. So this double pipe symbol is known as conditional execution operator OR. So echo, okay, there is no software engineer in this organization. Okay, there is no software engineer in this. Okay, yes, this organization has software engineers. Okay, let us suppose that I want to look for a pattern known as clerk. Okay, then I'll give yes, this organization has clerks. Otherwise, I'll tell there is no clerk in this organization. There is no clerk in this organization. There is no clerk in this organization, because in this case what happens, grep has failed. Okay, grep is unable to find even a single line uh, with the pattern clerk from the file employee.data. Hence grep has failed to find the pattern. So when grep has failed to find the pattern, whichever command follows the double pipe symbol, that is the conditional execution operator, or that command is executed. So I believe you have understood about this significance of the conditional execution operator and conditional execution operator OR. Okay, thank you. See you in the next class. Take care. Bye bye.